What's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to TNA Wrestling Review, where it tends to giving you TNA No Sacrifice 2024 results from February 23rd, 2024. If I remember it, I believe it was the 23rd. Yes, it was. And this basically was the first show event TNA Wrestling here, without Scott D'Amore, because he's been terminated. He's been wrongfully, stupidly terminated by Anthem. So we had to move on. If you've seen that clip of Eric Young and the rest of the rosters standing on stage, what tends to talk about, well, Eric Young most likely talked about it. Well, you gotta just move on and just focus on what's going on with the task at hand. The show must go on at the end of the day. But based on how this show was, I didn't hate the show. There were some things that I didn't like about the show. Yeah, shockingly, right? Something I didn't like about the show. What else is new with me, right? But I'm gonna get to what I didn't like on the show. But there are some things I did like on the show. What I ask you people to go back and watch? No, not at all. Especially how they booked certain matches that was head scratching to me, and we'll get to that later. So, but let's get to well, first off, what am I going on here for? I could have just went to Wikipedia. All right, so bear with me, folks. I'll be right back. All right, here we are, folks. They were in West Wago, Louisiana, at the Alaro, I think that's what it's called, the Alaro Center. I'm gonna tell you right now, straight up, with the attendance of 750 TNA fans in attendance. So, so there you go. Your commentators were Matthew Rabo and Tom Hennigan. And let's get to the show now. Let me first see how this looks first before anything. If anything else I need to bring up here. Nope, that's pretty much it there. Alright, so let's get to the show here. First off, the pre-show, they featured two matches. The first match was the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, defeated Speedball Mountain of Mike Bailey, and Trent Seven by submission in 8 minutes and 12 seconds. I believe Trent Seven who got into the submission, or I think Mike Bailey got into the submission. I can't remember exactly, but I did say in my preview that we were gonna have Steve Macklin get involved, and he did. And I thought maybe we have Nick Nemeth involved as well, but he wasn't there. He didn't show up, so it was for the best, because it was not really needed for him to be on the show either way, especially on the pre-show. So unless they were trying to do something like later on the show pertaining to this whole thing, that was it should not be the case, where he shouldn't have been out there anyways. So there's this angle where he's being taken out, but we all know he's not really taken out, because he went to Japan, because he ends up facing David Finlay for the title from the beginning. So, but yeah, there you go. That's pretty much if that one. Then the other match was another tag team match. The System of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, with Alicia Edwards, defeated the Intergalactic Jet Setters. So yeah, that was something I was trying to remember exactly. The Intergalactic, but Intergalactic Jet Setters of Kevin Knight and Kushida. 8 minutes and 47 seconds. The System won, as I thought they would. I thought maybe Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent would win their match, but they didn't. Because again, if we was gonna have Steve Macklin get involved, then Ryan Nemeth, Nick Nemeth, I should say, was going to get involved, and he was going to be the one that's for the save, and he was going to help, the teams win there. But no, that didn't happen. So much for that. So, that was it for for the pre-show there, not for the main show. Okay, just let me stretch out a little bit. The opening match was Eric Young versus Frankie Kazarian. 9 minutes and 23 seconds it lasted, where the winner will be determined the number contender for the TNA World Championship at TNA Sacrifice 2024. First off, Frankie Kazarian's new theme song was badass. First of all, the song's called "The Kings of the Asylum." What an appropriate name for that for Frankie Kazarian. An appropriate name too pertains to TNA Wrestling because they started in the Asylum. An appropriate name because being the Asylum, which I do, and pertains to to the original of the Asylum shows of Mr. Rick and J 21. So appropriate pertains to that song. It's why Mr. Rick and J 21 came up with the name in the first place. He was influenced by TNA Wrestling so much pertains to of the Asylum name. He pertains to YouTube. He founded the name of the Asylum. So there you go. But yeah, as far as the match was, also Frankie Kazarian wanted the ring announcer Jay Chung, the wife of Josh Alexander, to be called from now on the King of TNA because he is a TNA original. So Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian had that match back and forth, but most likely Frankie Kazarian's match was basically what it was. But Eric Young did what he can. Referee, don't know who the referee was, but referee did a good job. But Frankie Kazarian thought otherwise. Frankie Kazarian was upset he didn't get the win when he hit his finishing move. I can't remember what it was again. What was it he hit? Either way, Eric Young kicked out. Because of that, Frankie Kazarian was arguing with the referee that allowed Eric Young to get an upset, roll up in a way. I think it was like a roll up in a way, but either way, got the win over Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian was too busy arguing with the referee that it should have been a 3, and that cost him. Eric Young is your winner, and now he's the number 1 contender going into Sacrifice, which I figured that will happen too, by the way, because of who won in the TNA World Championship match, which we'll get to later on. And that's one of the things I didn't like about the match, by the way, folks. When I get to that match, I'm gonna explain why. But yeah, but I thought the match was good. Good opener. Frankie Kazarian though, after the match, he was arguing with the referee again, and then he attacks the referee, beats up the referee, and we have referees coming out, to stop him, and that's pretty much it. So Frankie Kazarian, every time if he loses the match because of a referee, he's going to basically threaten to beat up with referees. So that's where we are with Frankie Kazarian now. We get to this TNA World Tag Team Championship in the best of 3 series final match with ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay defended against the grizzled young veterans of James Drake and Zach Gibson. 17 minutes and 48 seconds it lasted. Good match. It started off, I saw it first, but it picked up the pace at the end, and it was ended up being pretty good. If you ask me which of the 3 matches that was the best, it was the first one. And then what comes close to it, second match, and then this one, my least favorite. But it was still pretty good what they did here. ABC's got new theme music, by the way. I don't know if there was a song to it as well, but I like it. They're still part of Bullet Club, by the way. They're still members of Bullet Club. But they don't really feature that much on New Japan Pro Wrestling that much because they're in TNA. Even though they're still working relationship though either way, but still. They're still called Bullet Club. They're still part of Bullet Club, and that's going to change that. Despite them being baby faces in TNA Wrestling in America, but once you're in Japan, we gotta throw logic out the window. Logic out the window, I should say. And their heels over there. Different world, I guess. But in the end, ABC wins. I was shocked. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, they won? After seeing them hitting the finishing move onto I think it was Zach Gibson, or I believe it was James Drake. I'm assuming it's gotta be James Drake who took the loss. And I'm like, oh wow, so I can't believe they won. I was expecting a title change here, but that's not what happened at all. We did get a title change. We'll get that later, by the way. And I'll talk about the main event. For those that watched the show, I know what the main event was, and I know who won that title when we get to that main event match. But good match though. Either way, good match. My least favorite of the threes, but good match. So ABC has won the best of 3 series against the Grizzly Young Vets. Grizzly Young Vets will eventually get the tag titles, maybe later on down the line, maybe in Summerversary, maybe bound for glory. Who knows? We'll see. But I do see him winning the tag belts soon. That's what Zach Gibson does. He should bring that back, by the way. He needs to bring that back. I miss when he does that. The whole soon. So, anyways, PCO defeated Kong by disqualification, 3 minutes and 49 seconds. When I first got into the match, my expectation was low because knowing how this match was going to end, I thought it was going to end by a draw, but it ended by a disqualification because Kong got a steel chair and hit his PCO on the outside. I was sort of right in the way where the match was going to end fairly. So in a way I was kind of halfway how it was going to end, and they're still fighting, and basically I was more into the fight than it did, more so than I was into the match. Not saying that the match was bad when it first started, but I just had low expectations coming into this match because I know it's going to lead to. Because as soon as you see it was going to be a singles match between these two guys, it was going to be like some kind of clusterfuck of this match, and it ends up being that way. So, Kong ends up doing the whole step in the neck of PCO, not once but twice, after the match, and the fight, and they kept on fighting and everything. They kept beating each other up. It was a back and forth fight there and all. So Kong basically handcuffed PCO on the tunnel stage, and they snapped his neck again. That was the second time he snapped his neck there, and PCO no sold it. That's what PCO does. He's a French Canadian's Frankenstein who knows pain. And he no sold it, and Kong is leaving. And after seeing the result of that, now I know for sure they're gonna have another match, and it's not gonna be regular match. It's gonna be Monsters Ball, and I guarantee you it's gonna be built up for sacrifice. So I expected how the match was gonna be, and I was not disappointed. So, but yeah, I was into the brawl more so than I was into the match. By the time we get to the second match, which is to Monsters Ball, I'll be into that match because what they're gonna do in that match is gonna be definitely worth watching. So now we get to the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. That's 7 minutes and 27 seconds. MK Ultra that features Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich versus Decay, Rosemary, and Havoc, the current TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. And match itself, it was decent. I enjoyed it. Now I was not expecting a title change here, which this would end up being. It ended up being a title change here that I didn't see coming. Just like I didn't see it coming where ABC was going to retain. I didn't see this coming with MK Ultra, regaining back the tag team titles against Decay. Now you can say, what takes this is 50-50 booking. You could say that too, but I kind of disagree with that because even though it is 50-50 booking what they did here, I don't know if it's going to be a rematch because we all know who's demanding for a rematch for this after this match was ending. Doesn't matter who ends up being the champion out of these two teams, because you have Danny Luna and Jody Threat are are demanding a match for tag team titles because they are beaten the former Knockouts Tag Team Champions in Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich in singles matches. So they have a right to go after the tag titles once this was done. And I should have known better too, by the way, because based on how that how this whole program started with MK Ultra turning heel on Jody Dredd and Danny Luna, when they first had the tag team match, I should have known at that time, that was going to be a feud leading up to, what as it was going to end up being for the Knockout Tag Team titles. Will it be a sacrifice? I believe so. So we're going to see how that's built up. But yeah, MK Ultra is winning. And who else has been taking the pinfall? Of course, they always have Rosemary lose. I don't understand why Little Rosemary has to be the one to always lose. I'm not saying Havoc should have lost, but every time when something like this happens, I always see Rosemary always taking the pin. I don't understand that. I don't get it. But whatever. But either way, MK Ultra is winning, and that shocked me that they won. Was not expecting that at all. After the match, though, winning the tag titles wasn't enough. They wanted to add more insult to injury, so they attacked Decay after the match. And then that's when Danny Luna and Jody Dredd came out for the save, and that was it. And that's the match that's gonna be up now, folks. Unless we see a rematch clause, invoked by Decay. Oh, I was gonna mention, by the way, I was gonna explain. The whole 50-50 booking thing. You could be right about that too. What they did here was 50-50 booking, but also you gotta think about this too. When they did TNA Hard to Kill, when they announced this match out of nowhere, where MK Ultra was going to defend the tag titles against a team that they had no plan on, prepared for, being prepared to K, basically retains the return of Rosemary and Havoc to be the ones to face MK Ultra at Hard to Kill. But now coming into No Surrender, excuse me. Now we know. Now we know who that MK Ultra cannot be prepared to face Decay to regain the tag titles here, and they did. So, in a way, it worked out either way. How they booked this, though. And the process of it, we got MK Ultra now are heels and a heel champions. And now we're gonna see if there's gonna be a rematch clause, invoked here, because there's 1-1, 50-50 booking. So we'll see how this ends up being. If it ends up being like on random TNA Impact show, or maybe the rematch will happen at Sacrifice. Who knows? Maybe Danny Luna and Jody Dredd will have to wait a little longer until it is the right time for them to get the tag titles. So because MK Ultra, they won the belts back, which means Decay could invoke the rematch clause, or they could make a 3-way tag team. It could be that way too. What we shall see. But next match was Josh Alexander versus Simon Gotch. 16 minutes and 43 seconds it lasted. Match itself, it was good. Not much to say about it other than I thought it was good. These two guys are very worked well together. They gel well together. There is some chemistry there. But in the end, Josh Alexander ends up winning. I figured that they'll have him win because even though despite how he's feeling about right now about the termination of Scott D'Amore, they still feel the need to book him strong, and for Josh Alexander to still be the backbone of TNA Wrestling, despite getting rid of Scott D'Amore. Sorry about that, folks. I had to sneeze. And it just happened. So, anyways, but next match, Josh Alexander won. So what's this gonna mean for Simon Gotch? I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe it leads to another rematch. I don't know. We'll see. But next we get to the match that I want to talk about now, because I was not a fan of this match at all, folks. It could have been executed well based on with these two talents, but how they did this, it should have been like how they could book an I Quit match, or the whole thing would taste to the other match that I don't think it was an I Quit match, which tends to Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund from Survivor Series. When the whole thing with Owen Hart was who had the towel for Bob Backlund, and Davey Boy Smith had the towel for Bret Hart. I don't know if it was something like that. It was like an I Quit match during that time as well, but I don't remember at all. But I remember the story where it takes to Bob Backlund, where it takes the whole throwing the towel thing that happened with him back in 1984. I believe it was that year. When he lost the title to Darren Sheik, and his manager Aaron Scully throwing the towel because he wants his guy to be badly hurt, wherever it's not that. I don't know what the story was at the time, but I digress. But anyways, but that's basically what this match was, which it was for the TNA World Championship in a No Surrender rules match, and I'll explain what the rule is. Moose, the champion, who was being accompanied by the System, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, also Alicia Edwards as well out there. When he went up against Alex Shelley, who was with him out there was the Intergalactics jet setters of Kevin Knight and Kushida. Now, Alex Shelley told Chris Sabin to not be out there because he's got focused on his main event, which we'll get to that later on. So it was just Kevin Knight and Kushida out there for Alex Shelley. In a way they're outnumbered because Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers and Alicia Edwards is three of them out there. So, and I remember the whole thing was Team Morales said on TNA Impact, on the Go Home show for the show, that no one of the System or from Alex Shelley's side can interfere in this match, and they kind of did, and I'll get to why. How that was, but this lasted 20 minutes and 7 seconds. They used weapons, candlesticks, steel chains, chairs. I can't remember if they used a table. I think they did. If I recall, I remember they used a table. Candlesticks. I mentioned. I think I mentioned that already. Candlestick. At least it wasn't Kenny or Kendra. So. But there was also outside fighting of the System and the Intergalactic jet setters. Alicia Edwards, also got involved. So the whole No Surrender rules thing that they did here is that you have the System who has a towel for Moose, and I'll show you. We'll do some diabolical things to Moose, and it'll lead to a point where the System can't see no more of this, so they had to throw in the towel, which means that's a way of this No Surrender rules works. The same thing goes to Alex Shelley's party as well. Pertains to what Moose was doing to Alex Shelley, was very gruesome as well, to a point where they had Kevin Knight and Kushida's got to throw in the towel as well, if they can't see no more of this. Even though Alex Shelley told them, which it was a story as well. So Alex Shelley told them, no matter what happens to Alex Shelley in this match, do not throw in the towel. Someone didn't listen, which we'll get to. But you see Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards get involved so many times. Now here's the thing, they did interfere, but they didn't interfere to a point where they touched Alex Shelley. That was basically on the whole thing with Matt Santana meant what's this whole thing. Neither of the teams cannot touch anyone in that match. That's in the match. If they do, then they will lose. Especially if Moose lost that way, he would also lost the title, and it went to Alex Shelley. But they still interfere because they took at one point they took weapons away from Alex Shelley. I'm talking about the System. You have Moose. I can't remember exactly what happened with that whole thing with Moose. But they barely did anything with that as well. Pertains to Alex Shelley's team. But I do remember this too, to a point where when so Moose was like in some type of submission by Alex Shelley, the Border City stretch with a weapon like a candlestick or a chain. I can't remember what. I believe it was a candlestick, and they had the System on the apron, and they had a towel because they're thinking should we throw in the towel, right? And there you have Kushida and Kevin Knight, the Intergalactic jet setters there, and then went right after them. And I'm like saying to myself, wait, this makes no sense. Why would they stop the System of trying to throw in the towel? For Alex Shelley to win, it makes no sense. And the same thing happened with the System as well. I can't remember exactly if that ends up being the case as well with the System, but this makes no sense. And this really got me confused. This got my head scratching all like what the hell's going on in this match now? This match is becoming a big clusterfuck as it is, but since all these no rules and all that, and now it's getting a lot worse with how this was being booked. To finally we get Moose, get a chain wrapped around on his shoulders, going for 3 spears. And I think he's gonna go for another one. And Kushida has a towel, and he throws in the towel because he couldn't see no more. And Moose still spear Alex Shelley even though he threw in the towel. So Moose wins. Alex Shelley is upset with Kushida for throwing the towel. And there you go. I would love the match, but how this was booked, I was not a fan of this match. This match was no to me, lost some cool points of me saying this was a good match. Because there was some cool, interesting spots they did there too that I enjoy, but the booking just got in the way. A shitty booking that they did here, that made no sense, and it just brought that little little grade down of me enjoying the show. So next match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship, Jordan Grace defends it against Giselle Shaw, who officially turned in her Ultimate X to the official. 10 minutes and 38 seconds lasted. Good match. And you have Ash by Elegance, who was there, by the way, before the name came out there. Pertains to the personal, what was his name? Well, what they call him by, the personal consular, something like that. But anyway, either way, Ash by Elegance was out there to observe this match because she's going to be up in line for a TNA Knockouts World Championship, which makes no sense because she had only one match and she already is going to go after the title. And on top of that, she's still there has not been so much of an improvement as of late of her first match in TNA so far. Will she improve later on? We shall see. But of what I'm seeing of her right now in the ring, she cannot lace up Jordan Grace's boots, let alone even wear her jock strap. Pertains to protecting her, because women wears cups too, by the way, pertains to to wrestling, in some sports as well. So, anyways, sorry about that. But Giselle Shaw was great performer in the match, and she really showed off in this match. It was a very good match between these two. In the end, Jordan Grace wins. So much for that. So then we get to the main event for the TNA Exhibition Championship. Mustafa Ali versus the champion, Chris Sabin. 19 minutes and 37 seconds. The match was good. I enjoyed the match for what it was. But then something happened in the end. Clusterfuck. Now, I didn't mind if you want to have the the secret agencies of Mustafa Ali to be out there and cost Chris Sabin the match. We're saying Mustafa Ali win the title, which none of these guys didn't cost him the title either way. Not even who are being involved as well, which I'll get to. But I would love to see that. Then to see who wasn't coming out there to for no reason. I get they're kissing the ass and everything, all that and everything, and they want to get back at Chris Sabin, and blah blah blah, whatever. It was shit. It was booking malpractice here. Just like with the No Surrender rules match they did. Booking malpractice they did here. So what happened? So you had the agencies that was there to make sure Mustafa Ali was okay. Because you have four of them, by the way. Two were on that side and the other side here. The two are obviously from there. Ends up helping up Mustafa Ali, and Chris Sabin was on the top, and then that's on all three of them. Or apart on two of them, because I think Mustafa Ali may have got out of the way because the agencies were protecting Mustafa Ali, because Mustafa Ali's character is he's a politician. So, and then that's when we get the good hands coming out, and that's where I like, fuck this. Again, if there's gonna be some interferences, if there's gonna be something that's gonna distract Chris Sabin, fine. Let the agencies guys because there were four of them, two of them were taken out. And two of them could have got involved, where referees could have got distracted, and then they could have. Obviously, these agencies are obviously wrestlers, especially these two guys that took the bump for on the outside when Chris Sabin landed on both of them. So I would have those guys, be the reason why Chris Sabin lost here, over the good hands. Now the good hands didn't have any hand on this either. So much of good hands of some good hands they have, by the way. Yeah, some good hands they turned to be because they didn't had anything to do with Chris Sabin losing either way because Chris Sabin fought them off either way, and the match was still going out for a good 6 minutes whatever, and in the end, Mustafa Ali wins. As I thought he would, and he is your new TNA Exhibition Champion. Now, am I happy that he won the belt? Yeah, I'm happy he won the belt. Am I happy how he won the match? Sort of. But when it comes to booking wise, am I happy how this match was being booked by having the good hands getting involved? Fuck no. Are you fucking kidding me? There was no need for them being out there. I don't care if they were being a good hand, for that time being. In fact, what was so much of a good hand for them if they couldn't even get the job done when Chris Sabin still ends up still fighting Mustafa Ali for another few minutes until Mustafa Ali got the better of him. It's not like the good hands distracted him later on and Chris Sabin let that get the best of him. No, at the end of the day, Mustafa Ali got the better of Chris Sabin. So yeah, I was not happy how this match was booked. Again, I would have been okay if you had the agencies that was out there for him to help Chris Sabin. I mean, to help Mustafa Ali to beat Chris Sabin. But that didn't happen either. So that was a letdown, and that I just thought it could have been a lot better. And this main event flounder. It flopped. To me, the main event flopped here. To what could have been a great show. Not saying it was bad, but it could have been a great show, and it wasn't. So, but talking about wrestling minus the pre-show. If you don't count the pre-show matches, talking about wrestling. Eight matches. And my overall rating for the show, I'm gonna go with a 6.5 out of 10. Had the show would have been booked better, what pertains to the No Surrender match and what pertains to the main event, I would have given like maybe a 9. It could have been great, to that level where I could have given a 9. But no, I couldn't. I can't do it. There were some things I didn't like all those two matches, and how I just named them was one of them. A few of them, I should say. So there you go. Oh, one minor note, I did it this time with AJ Francis and Chris Swan, where AJ Francis is like, you remember your opponents, but we don't have to be enemies, something like that, which was it's going to lead to their match on TNA Impact, which tends to, I guess it's going to be Rich Swann and Joel Hendry versus Diener and AJ Francis. Unless it was going to be like a 6-man tag match. I don't remember what it was going to be, but I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know what to do with Rich Swann, folks. I think Rich Swann is is going to be leaving TNA. That's my guess. It look like they're not doing anything with him. It look like he's just floundering, and there's no direction. There's no clear direction of where Swan's going to be in TNA. Especially with Scott D'Amore gone, I can definitely see him leaving now. Where he end up being, I don't know. WWE's not gonna bring him back. He's got that the whole track record where he embarrassed the company because of the whole arrest of domestic violence to his wife. Which they are good now, but still, and they have a kid, so whatever. But there you go, folks. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna end from there. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Next time you see me doing a TNA Wrestling review will be about TNA Impact, which is going to be this coming Thursday. So, which by the way, as this recording is on a Wednesday. So by the time I do get this up, it's probably will be like on a Thursday morning. So I will see you next time for another TNA Wrestling review. What takes the TNA Impact once I get a chance to watch that show for later on that week. So, that being said, thank you for watching for It's Natural Born Thriller. As I say, peace on the streets to all you be well. Stay safe. Take care of yourself, everything that's going on in the world. And with that being said, I'm out here. Ta-ta for now. And this has been your TNA No Sacrifice 2024 results pertains to this TNA Wrestling review from February 23rd, 2024. So, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. God bless. And fuck Bruce Pritchard.